Mind Games Festival. I think they've selected some good movies for that topic. This one certainly is. Actually, the story about this film is at least as interesting as the film itself, and that's saying a lot because this is The Manchurian Candidate, film based on a novel by Richard Condon. Frank Sinatra and, you know, several million other people, plus President John F. Kennedy, had read the novel and thought it would make a darn good movie. So Mr. Sinatra began to lobby United Artists head Arthur Krim to let him, that is to say, Mr. Sinatra, star in that picture. Well, Mr. Krim resisted because he was not convinced the public would go to see this kind of movie. But here was an interesting point. Mr. Krim was also the national finance chairman of the Democratic Party. Mr. Sinatra had worked very hard for John Kennedy's election. So he made a phone call. And when he made a phone call, he asked the president to make a phone call. And the president made a phone call, and lo and behold, you'll be shocked to hear that Mr. Krim changed his mind. The film was made. It was released in late 1962. Well, we all know what happened late in 1963, 1 year later in Dallas. For the many of you who have never seen the film, I'm not going to spoil it by telling you what it's about. Suffice to say that after the president was shot to death, Mr. Sinatra and others involved requested it be removed from circulation, and it was. Nobody saw this film for many, many years, 20 years. And you're going to see why. You'll also see a remarkable performance by Lawrence Harvey and an excellent cast, which includes, in addition to Frank Sinatra, Janet Leigh, and Angela Lansbury, who enhances every frame of film in which she appears. She certainly does that here. This was a recurring nightmare for Americans in the depths of the Cold War. Here comes Manchurian Candidate. Now, how about that for a movie? That you and I talk about Angela Lansbury's performance as that domineering mother. Wasn't that something? Members of the Academy were impressed enough to nominate her for an Oscar as Best Supporting Actress. Most of the people in Hollywood were aware of the fact that Miss Lansbury was only 3 years older than Lawrence Harvey, who played her son. By the way, Frank Sinatra didn't want Angela Lansbury, we're told, to play Mrs. Iceland. His first choice for the role was, against type, Lucille Ball. But John Frankenheimer had just directed Miss Lansbury in All Fall Down, and he fought to have her included in the cast, and boy, was he ever right. One final note, there was an inside joke in The Manchurian Candidate. You might have missed, I certainly missed it the first time I saw it. The names of the soldiers in the brainwashed platoon, they were also the names of the characters in Phil Silver's famous Sergeant Bilko television comedy show. They just thought they needed a little comedy relief on the set. Well, our Mind Games Festival is going to continue now. In just a little while, my colleague Bob Dorian is going to be here. He's going to be telling you about a heck of a film called The Counterfeit Trader. You're going to like that one, too. Now watch this.